Do you like hentai? What about K-pop? What if I told you there's Korean hentai made by K-pop members? Don't quote me on that. But the road of manhwa is an interesting one where instead of having 20 pages to write a small story with most of them being about fucking, you get a full-length novel based on fucking. It's like the equivalent of Tower of God, but instead of fights, there was just a bunch of cucking. Oh wait, that is Tower of God. But anyway, today I have prepared several manhwa that will test your faith in Korea and make you wonder several questions like, why does the East like cucking so much? How do these people manage to color all of these manhwas? Why does God not love me? Alright, so let's start with Sweet Guy, which is literally the wet dream of every red-pilled redditor. This story is about how Peter Parker was a normal guy until he toaster bashed his dick into becoming Chad Man. Fucker of a woman. No, seriously. Apparently, all you need to be attractive to women is to shove your dick into an electric socket and bam, irresistible to necrophiliacs. I kid, but the story is very interesting in the way it shows the growth of the main character through gaining the power of sending good sensations to people he touches. On his journey, he meets a lot of different women, like MLN Facebook friend, heavy-handed Dommy Mommy, and the average VR chat player. On the other side, the antagonists of the manhwa are kinda, creepy. One of them is the CEO of Microsoft, Bill Gates, who wants to gain immortality through the power of vaccines and needs the blood of the protagonist to create the ultimate vaccine. Along with him is a simp executive that assists him and apparently made this random guy in the comment section have a mental breakdown. That being said, when the manga isn't making people go insane, it is making amazing metaphors for sex. For example, luscious gardens, outer space, and of course what everyone is thinking during sex, Tetris. Honestly, one of the best H manhwas out there. I would definitely recommend it, especially because of the translator that keeps leaving some nice translator notes that give some nice levity to the reading experience. On a similar note, Brawling Go is also about a guy who comes into contact with a special power. The story is literally if the warning on Viagra's of a boner lasting 4 hours or longer became a full-fledged manhwa. So try to follow me here. The main character can't get hard since the day he was born, and one day, he hopes a giant penis rock but gets attacked by a random snake. Because of this, the god of the penis rock gives him the power of Viagra, but it's too strong and will only go down after he comes. The guy is too retarded to masturbate, so he needs the assistance of women by accident, including his girlfriend that he has special properties that really. Anyways, the first girl gets friends by accident, he kinda girlfriend, and then a car fucking kills him and he's dead. And then the other 140 chapters don't exist because I was kind of getting uncomfortable with all the low-key unconsensual sex and high-key drugging and almost having unconsensual sex. That being said, you know how each story has a message behind it? For the life of me, I can't seem to think of a message that isn't just don't be horny, it will lead to problems, which is ironic coming from a hentai manhwa. Huh. But you know, it kinda holds up. I was punished for reading a manhwa because I was horny, just like the main character was punished for existing. Or you know, maybe the author is just an asshole and sucks at writing. For something that isn't written by a complete asshat, Hahri's Lumpy Boardhouse is like one of those reality TV shows where everyone literally just fucks in a house. But unlike reality TV, it's not trashy. Okay, it is a bit trashy, but it's still overall better than everything else I'm gonna talk about in this video. The story is about this loser that gets tricked into taking care of a woman-only boardhouse that has a secret, which is that it's spilling Mountain Dew gas that makes e-girls horny. And this shit spills as soon as they make the slightest glory hole in the floor. As to how they haven't patched this shit up correctly instead of random holes popping up like the house made out of Swiss cheese is beyond me. But thanks to this, our MC is forced to fuck gamers thanks to this supernatural occurrence. Are you starting to see a trend in these manhwa? Anyway, he makes his way helping the girls and defeats his antagonists by helping them get to Diamond. All in all, I actually think this manhwa holds up pretty well, with somewhat decent characters, an interesting idea, and laid back drama to keep it nice and refreshing. Sure, the sister is Saturday cartoon levels of evil, but at least it didn't end up with her growing a dick and NTRing all the girls away from the MC. The fact that I kinda expected that to happen just comes to show that the hentai addiction is starting to become a problem. What's not a problem is the ending that will leave a nice little aww moment for you as the post-nut clarity clears up and this time you don't feel too bad for what you read. This time. So for the next one, let me lay down some foundation for what I'm going to explain. Lust Awakening takes place in a twilight zone where people's brains have been replaced with aphrodisiacs. You know how people say that some use their other head to think? Well, the other head has developed cerebral palsy and needs to be put down for the sake of not downgrading the gene pool. So anyways, the story starts with this guy called Emma that has to move to go to his new job. His girlfriend, being incredibly jealous, questions him if he's gonna cheat on her like 20 times, to which he responds that he won't, because when has cheating ever been a thing in manhwa? So he has to work as a caretaker for a mother and her 2 daughters. The mother hates men because not only was her husband like literally the worst fucking person ever for straight up fucking woman in front of her for fun, but also giving her cancer? That being said, she lets him stay if he just does his job and doesn't touch her daughters. So anyways, he fucks both of her daughters every day. And hell, the story is literally just this joke format, but copy and pasted 50 times over. The only man I trust is Mr. Kim. Every other man is trash. Meanwhile, Mr. Kim, you won't do anything bad at the photo shoot, right? Of course not, tries to rape her. Hey, why don't you cut your hair? Oh, I don't know. Weren't you gonna donate that to kids in Siberia without legs that have transferable cancer or some shit? Fuck do you mean you don't know why you kept your hair long? Is this like a metaphor for how he's cutting off his shame from cheating on his girlfriend? Or a metaphor for how his girlfriend is gonna cut off his dick when she finds out about this? But then again, it's not like he ever will. I mean, for that she would need to come to the house to verify that, which is just dumb. So anyway, she comes to the house to see if Emma's cheating on her. Oh my god, why is the entire story structured like this? I swear the protagonist becomes even more of a brain dead horny idiot as the story progresses. And the worst part is that the guy, after basically ditching his girlfriend, staying with the girls, and the mother discovering this, is forgiven. And not only that, he gets fucking rewarded with 10% of the inheritance as long as he protects the girls. And so, he protects the girls and doesn't betray them in any way, and will always do good. He dips like 3 chapters later. And the whole story ends with just bullshit, where the MC is forgiven for everything because God is dead. But you know what? At least he learned his lesson, and he won't ever cheat on his girlfriend ever again. You know, I'm starting to notice that every time I do a hentai review, I often feel disappointed in what I'm reading. Maybe it's because of the theme or missing coherent narrative, but I'm starting to even regret making hentai reviews. So for the last couple of weeks, I've really been thinking how I got here. And I think it all comes back to the time I was in middle school and was watching a fuck ton of anime. I would literally consume as much anime as a Tijuana prostitute would guzzle cum for cheap. Seriously, they're like $5, room included, but that's not my point. My point is that I stumbled across a certain anime that practically changed my life. Or if I'm to be more accurate, it wasn't a complete anime, it was an OVA. You may or may not know about it. It's known for hitting you with its unexpected incest. No, it's not Yosuga no Sora. It's the one very similar name, Akisora. Yes, Akisora was technically my first hentai, and goddamn does it not feel good to say that. But for everyone to understand why, I believe it would be good to explain what it's about. You see, Akisora is a story about a brother and a sister named Aki and Sora. Their 2 names together mean blue sky, which is ironic, because I too look at the blue sky when I wonder how I went wrong in life. There is 2 OVAs and 30 manga chapters, which I had the unfortunate situation of having to read the manga after watching the anime. Yeah, 13-year-old William was very confused as to what the fuck he was reading. Discovering what exhibitionism, cucking, and incest was maybe not the greatest thing to learn at such a young age. It also gave way to one of my most cringiest Google searches of all time, which is, does coming hurt? Yeah, thanks for that story, you pussy ass bitch. Made me think that masturbation hurt the same as getting shot. However, that being said, it's not like the manga is just a cursed dumpster fire that should be forgotten. Quite the contrary. It's a smart manga that goes into several topics about sex and what it means to different kinds of individuals. Despite the, well, very questionable morality of what is shown in the manga. It does a good job of exposing the topic of sex, love, and relationships in a way that I can remember very vividly to this day. And that's the thing. The fact that hentai mangas make such an impact on me for the rest of my life is really incredible. Many people can say that a piece of media changed them forever, but few can say that porn did. And that's maybe why I still think that reviewing hentai is worth it. If one hentai I read could change me in a positive way, then why can't more? So with that being said, would I say that Akisora is a good OVA and manga? No. But would I recommend reading it? God no. But can I say I regret reading it? Yes I can. And I'm telling you this right now, do not read it. Hell, I didn't even reread it, I'm just going off what I remember. But it's thanks to it that I can see this kind of media as something more than just sexual entertainment. Because at the end of the day, the difference between regular porn and hentai is that hentai has a story. And sometimes, that story can change you. So that's all the smut that I'm going to talk about in this video, but you know what? I've talked about arguably the most popular hentai in part 1 of this trilogy, and my first hentai in this part, so I think it's only right if I do something truly special for the end of this trilogy. After all, I've been asking a very important question to a lot of people recently, and that question is, what is your favorite hentai? Because as for me, well, guess gonna have to wait a bit more for that answer. So, with everything being said, I'll see you next time to tell you my top 10 favorite hentai of all time.